Hello and welcome to Trading Supra featuring FillFinder Plus Automation. In today's video, there are three requested support zones. And the first one, I'll go ahead and enter in. The support zone starts at 6972.5. And so I'm just typing that down here in the support section of FillFinder. And I'll click Activate. And this was a request from a trader that has various support levels that he tracks throughout the day. And at this point in time, after this push up, this would be a support level, or a level that he would look at as potential support, where he would consider getting in long. And what this will demonstrate is, rather than just getting in long because it's arrived at a place, because it's arrived at a location where you think, hey, this is likely to be support, rather than just taking that trade, this will demonstrate the difference between just taking it whenever it gets there versus taking it based on the order flow confirmation that FillFinder provides. And then it'll also show just how the functionality works. Once the trade fills, it'll demonstrate the risk and profit taking functionality of FillFinder as well. So we'll go ahead and I'll push this forward just a little bit. This is market replay data. And so the replay data, obviously it is what it is. The day has happened. And then also the requested zone. I had absolutely no idea this person would request this market, this time of day, and this price. And so this is just purely what transpired, or what would have transpired using this zone on January 31st, 2018 in the March 2018 NASDAQ futures contract. So here it is. It has touched the zone, and so now we'll just observe and see what happens from here.
Order pending. Order filled.
So just filled long from 69.71 3/4.
Order filled.
And then target filled on the smaller profit objective. So I'll go ahead and pause this and just read off the numbers real quick. So the fill again, filled at 69.71 3/4. And then the smaller target exit 69.72 1/4, so just 2 ticks. And then the stop, in this case I had programmed it to stop at the entry once the smaller target had filled. And so that the market came back down on that price, and so the exit on the quantity 1, quantity 2, the quantity 2 exit was at the entry price. And so picked up 5 ticks on the smaller profit objective. Whatever you put in quantity 1 will go for the smaller profit objective. And so picked up 2 ticks on that, and then a break-even exit on the others. And so that's how the first trade happened. So I'll go ahead and continue the replay now. I'll remove support. That support zone is over with. And now we'll fast forward to about 11 a.m. New York time. And with that, I'll put in the next zone of interest. And again, these are zones that were just chosen by someone interested in Supra. I didn't know the market they would select. I didn't know the time of day, the zones, anything. And so it's just a pure look at the functionality and the realities of using Supra. And so the next zone starts, zone of support starts at 69.59 1/4. And so now we can just go ahead and observe how things take place here. So the market has just now touched the very top edge, 6959.25.
Order pending.
And filled long at 6959.
Order filled. Order filled.
Okay, 6959.75 was the fill. So again, small trade.
Order pending.
Sorry.
Order filled. Order filled.
So again, another small winning trade followed by stop being hit. And so break even exit. Let's just double check the numbers. Long from 6959.75 out at 6960.25, so 2 ticks, and then out at the entry on the remaining portion of the position. And then again, long at 6959.75, smaller target filled at 6960.5, so a pickup of 3 ticks there, and the remaining 2 at break even. So now I'll remove support and we'll go to the last of the requested zones, which is starts around 11:45 a.m. Eastern, and so we'll just fast forward to about 11:45. And so far one trade, here's 11:48 a.m., so I'll go ahead and put in the zone. Now the zone, 6949.75. Activate support. And then I'll go ahead and condense it, and you can see the zone right down here. And so I'll leave that in view just so we know what's there. What I started to say though is so far had a support zone. The imbalance in the order book was detected by FillFinder. The trade got filled long. The smaller profit objective was hit almost immediately. And then also the trade was stopped out almost immediately also, as the market didn't really lift very much. And in the process was moving quite a bit in and around the entry position. And so all that movement so close to the entry, the risk on the trade was kept to a minimum, and overall picked up a small amount, break even exit on the remaining portion, and then the same thing times 2 at the next lower support zone. The market got down in it. Not a whole lot of a long-lived bounce. You can see it did flare up just a little bit above 69.65. Did not last long, and then has crashed down to lower lows. That's happened twice at these support zones. So so far, small winning trades followed by a break-even exit on the remaining portion of the position. And so now, looking at the market still above the zone decently. I'm just going to fast forward this a little bit just so we're not just to keep the time to a minimum. But this is a unedited look. This is just going through one to the next to the next. Okay, so now we're in the zone, so I'll slow it down here. Pardon me. So now the market has touched into this 6949.75 down to 69.46 zone of potential support. And again, this is the difference between just taking the trade because it's there and letting the software read the order flow and find instances where the imbalance favors the direction of the trade. So if you select and activate a support zone, as we have, as I have here, once you activate support, it will only get you long. You're not going to get an order to go short in a support zone. And so it will, when you use a support zone, look for imbalances that favor the market rising more easily than falling. And if that imbalance is detected, if that takes place, then in that instant, FillFinder will enter you into a position. And so here what we've seen, we just saw this blue notification come up, this blue arrow. And that's just a visual notification. If you condense this a little bit more, a potential stopping point has been noted has taken place and is now being displayed on the screen by FillFinder at 69.48. And so that's just a heads up that things may be shaping up for a trade. It does not necessarily mean there's going to be one. Sometimes things take shape and then continue to reverse and fall back lower still. And so while there is an indication, it's not a guarantee that, hey, there's a trade coming up. Just so you know how the how FillFinder works. And so at this point, though, still waiting. The market touched down briefly into this zone of potential support, but so far has managed to bounce a couple of points off the low. But we're still waiting to see, first, if there's a fill, and second of all, if the zone can actually affect a decent enough bounce, or if it's just going to settle into this area. So we'll just continue to wait and watch. But just to give you an idea, running this through replay using the 5 on quantity 1, 5 contracts on the smaller target, 2 on the larger, it still shows a positive for the session so far at $195. And so that's an example. A lot of times if you read through the website, or if we've talked or emailed, you'll hear how I talk about how important it is to, even if it's just a small event, to at least fall forward, to leave with a little bit more than you started with. And that's just a real world working example of, you know, what I'm talking about. Is not necessarily, hey, it's a ton of money, but it's that small forward movement that has a sneaky way of adding up, which a lot of traders are familiar with just in reverse. A lot of times I'll talk to traders and they'll say, well, I'm not doing too badly. I haven't blown out my account lately. But they just, and then they'll tell me how over the past 6 weeks they go behind, you know, $80 today and the next day 110 and so on and so forth. And you can eventually, you know, in a matter of a few weeks, whittle away $1,500 on a small account. And so, and then much more on a larger. And so it just, it is a powerful thing to add up even these small wins. They just have a way of adding up.
Order pending.
Okay, I'll talk about timing. Just filled long, 69.48.5. So long at 69.48.5. The smaller target is 4 ticks higher at 69.49.5. And then the still larger target is up at 69.52 even. And those are noted. I know it's rather, I'll zoom in on this. But those
order filled.
Okay, so the small target just filled. The stop's now at the entry.
Order filled.
Okay, so stopped out. And now still the market's trading in the zone. So we'll see if there's any more. Looking below. So we'll see if there's anything else. Now, if by chance the market just decides to just take off and move a decent amount, you know, 3-4 points or more below the zone, then I'll just turn off the zone. And to do that, you just go over and click the remove support button right here. But as it is right now, it's just taking a peek below the support, and I don't have all the details on what the support consists of. It was just
order pending.
Okay, it's just filled again. This time long, same fill price, 69.48.5. Smaller target on this one, 69.51 3/4. Market's right around 50 right now, so within a couple of points.
Order filled.
Okay, so just got the smaller target up around 51 3/4. Now looking for 69.58 3/4 for the larger target. And the stop for the remaining two is at 69.48.5. So far, 3 different zones. We've had 1 entry off of the first zone, 2 entries off of the second zone, and now the market's moving away. And so I can actually just go ahead and remove support. And it's obviously still managing the trade that we're in, but we're not going to look at this zone again at this point. And this is someone else's zones. As I said, these are requested zones, but we can see the difference between just taking it because it's at a zone. Oftentimes the question comes up, well, where should I put my stop? Is this, did I crowd it just by a few ticks? With FillFinder, it looks at each order flow scenario as its own event, which means the stops are customized to the event. And so if the event fails, then the stop is reached, and that's exactly when you want to be stopped out, when the idea has expired. And so that's how it's built, and it looks like this is just about at the all right, came within a couple of ticks. 58 3/4 is the target, 58 1/4 is the high of that recent push. But that way you don't have a lot of inefficiency, a lot of waste in your stop loss if you're able to customize it to each event rather than customizing it to a generic zone. And then also, as you've noticed probably, the targets are dynamic depending on the trade that triggers the entry. And so sometimes you'll see...
Order filled.
Okay, so that just filled. And so larger target, smaller target, both filled in this case, which is actually quite nice. But you've probably noticed here how different the targets can be. Sometimes they're very small, sometimes they're decent size, sometimes they're pretty big. It's all based on what the market suggests to be a gettable target. And so what makes it gettable, there's a lot of variables that are programmed into these algorithms. And so that's a demonstration, though. You can see this is a market replay. This is January 31st, 2018, looking at the March NASDAQ futures contract. On that last trade, sorry, I'll get you the numbers before we conclude the video. Long from 48.5. The smaller target was up at 51 3/4, so that's a gain of 3 1/4 points. And so 13 ticks to the positive on the smaller target. And then the larger target was from 48.5 up to 58 3/4 for 10 1/4 points, and so 41 ticks above the entry that filled as well. And so just going through the replay, you can see here I have the quantities the same for all three for all 3 zones, and like I had mentioned, there were 5 trades total. Quantity stayed the same, 5 at the smaller target. So if it cooperates just a little, take profit on those and get the money, get cash flow the position. If there's going to be a bigger move, great. And the quantity 2 will get you a bigger target. So you can see the quantities for these were all the same. It was all 5 and 2, so no variation there. And then, as we can see here, the fills, you can see by the blue line, by the red line where the stop was. But overall, trading these 7 contracts on these 3 zones in these 5 trades total was $1,000. And that's including those tiny little moves forward where it's just, oh boy, this didn't really amount to much. But like I had said, those small winners can add up very quickly. And if you don't think so, just remember how you've maybe whittled down your account at times with no major problems, just day after day, giving up $50 here, $80 there, $110 there, and so on. And so overall, though, 7 contracts, $1,000, 3 different zones, 5 trades, all managed automatically, all sized custom to each trade event. And that's those are some of the things that you can get if you want to use FillFinder plus automation in your trading. If you need help with zones, some people have their own zones and they like them and they're not looking for anything else. Others are. And so if you're looking for zones, I have created a turning point video training package where you can get videos that will train you on the specifics of how to locate price areas where the market's likely to have pressure, where it's likely to experience an influx of interest that is likely to move the price. And so it's great places to have FillFinder look for fills, great places to trade order flow imbalances, which is what FillFinder does. And so if you'd like more information on the training, you can go to tradingsupra.com. And then also we have individual trade setup training as well. If you're interested in that, you can email me at jaredputnam@outlook.com. Jared, J-A-R-E-D, Putnam, P-U-T-N-A-M @outlook.com. Everyone trade safely. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.